Black Monday has passed and several NFL coaches received the axe, which leaves a bunch of openings for prospective NFL head coaches, one being former Georgia offensive coordinator Todd Monken, who is receiving interest from the Chicago Bears. And listen, Monken had a ton of success. I mean, Stetson Bennett and that Georgia Bulldogs offense turned into a juggernaut, which was not the case before he got there. And then he goes to Baltimore and you know, everyone just assumes Lamar Jackson and that offense was just absolutely going pew, pew, pew. It's always been like that. This was a middle of the road offense before Monken got there. They had a lot of problems, particularly passing the ball. He leads Lamar Jackson to an MVP season. They have the third highest rush or yards per play average in NFL history this year. So they're the best offense in the NFL this year, in a year with a lot of great offenses. And Monken's a huge part of that. And frankly, when you look at resumes, he doesn't strike me as a guy who's really a head coach guy.
Yeah, see,
but
that's the
when you look at resumes and you look at what teams covet,
it's just hard to see him be a head coach just because he hasn't.
And he's 58.
He's 58. He's not, good-looking Sean McVay or Ben Johnson,
Marcus
who's
Freeman.
got a hot wife. Yeah, and it's like, oh, that guy's a head coach. It's quarterback face. He doesn't have head coach face. He's just big, ugly guy who just knows how to coach offense.
Ugly,
well, he is. All old people are ugly. I'll stand by that. All babies and all old people, all ugly. His resume is really second to maybe one in Ben Johnson, and I guess that's it. Back-to-back natties at Georgia, took the next step, and has clearly succeeded with the Baltimore Ravens. You're right. You go look back at their scoring, yards per play, Lamar Jackson's individual stats before he got there. They were all middle of the road. And then and he's squarely in the top 5 in nearly every single major offensive category. If it wasn't for Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson would be winning his third MVP, back-to-back MVPs. And Todd Monken has a lot to do with that. I mean, if you're going to miss out on Ben Johnson in terms of, finding the offensive mind, it's not Vrabel. It's certainly not Rex Ryan, whatever the hell the Jets are doing. And the Jags also wanted to interview him as well, or requested to interview Monken as well. T-Law and Caleb Williams in Todd Monken's offense. I kind of love that.
And here's a couple of things.
One more thing. I'm sorry. What makes Todd Monken so special in my eyes is he cultivated an offense at Georgia that is different than the one he's cultivated in Baltimore. So he's shown you an ability to, adjust his offense to his skill play, or to his players. And that is something that cannot be overlooked.
Yeah. There's no doubt. You look at the track record. He's done it with two different types of quarterbacks, one at Stetson Bennett and one in Lamar Jackson. You look at the last
opposite ends of
you look at the last 4 years. It's national championship, MVP, and should be MVP, but we'll see if he wins MVP. That's a pretty damn good track record if you're an offensive coordinator. I don't think you can literally get any better than that. And I think another aspect that I think will be very intriguing for teams interviewing, and we'll see how he interviews because that's a big part of the process. But he came from being coached under Kirby Smart, who's probably the best coach. And then he gets coached by John Harbaugh, who's one of the best coaches and storied coaches. So the experience learning under elite head coaches, I think, is invaluable for a lot of these candidates. He's experienced. He's 58. So yes, it's not going to be the sexy hire in terms of, I guess you say he's ugly, but it's not going to be a sexy hire, but in terms of football minds, the guy has seen it all, done it all, had a ton of success, and coached under a million good coaches.
That is the thing that maybe I'm not wrapping my head around. It is like the CEO aspect, which Kirby Smart is, which John Harbaugh is.
Those are the definition of CEO.
He is learning under maybe the best of the best at different levels too. So, choosing what you want. I'm starting to warm up to the idea, and obviously, I just like good football. I have individual grudges with some coaches, some teams, but I'd love to see Caleb Williams and the Bears succeed with Todd Monken, and the same with T-Law in Jacksonville. So, I don't know. The only asterisk is the boneheaded calls that he made in the postseason where he just kept asking Lamar to drop back and be a quarterback he wasn't last year. That's about the only thing that he can be knocked for.
Well, we'll see how he does in this postseason, but I agree. If he got a head coaching opportunity, I think whoever gets him should be excited.